Richie and I did the same thing. At least, I mean, we both stuck it down the front of our pants and rubbed it there because we thought our groins were hotter. I worked up a big boner and basically pumped it. They didn't show me doing that.
Welcome to 99 To Beat After the Game with Rob and Ron, where they break down each episode, giving you insights into the games, the contestants, and behind the scenes.
Rob, that's me, and Ron. That's the guy right down there in the red shirt. Not the other good-looking guy that's younger, but the older guy that's on his last leg. That's Ron. We're the host of your show. Say hello, Ron.
Hey, how you guys doing out there in TV land?
Yeah, Ron's chill and I'm high strung. So get ready and strap in. This is our first episode, and we just saw the first episode premiere last night. It was a premiere surprise. It's coming out as billed this coming Wednesday on the 24th after the floor with Rob Lowe on Fox. But last night they dropped it after the Fox football game. So we all just got to see it. So I'm going to introduce the other two guests of the show this week. We're very excited to have Zoltan Berninski, which I can never pronounce right, even though I've known him over 20 years.
Of course you chopped that up.
Z10, welcome to the show. Say what's up, brother.
What's up? I'm the good mascot that's on the show, Zoltan. And it's Berninski. Okay,
Berninski.
get it right. Come on.
Yeah, I'm going to forget that in 3 seconds. All right, just change your name.
Forget about it. It's okay, Robert.
You'll
remember it in 3 beers.
Yeah, and Clayton, say what's up, Ra.
What's going on, everybody? Donnell Clayton here, the other fireman that's on the show.
Tell us a little bit about yourselves, all right? Ronald, actually, Clayton, tell me what Ronald's nickname is that you told me on day one when we were over there in England shooting this show back in May.
I told y'all, man, when it comes to fire department stuff, you ask any OG on the fire department, it's not Rob Mitchell, that's Ron Mitchell. Right in the middle.
I keep sneaking in there on Facebook on comments being like, his name's not Ronald Mitchell. It's Ronald Mitchell. Clayton, you do a lot of acting and other stuff, right? You wrote a children's book. You're in commercials. Every time I see you on social media, you look like the sex symbol that's about to break and take over Denzel Washington's spot as King of Hollywood. What's going on there?
Well, I just keep myself busy, man. I've been acting, modeling. I do children's book, local commercials. I've just been staying busy and just working my hand the best way I can, keeping my hand in everything.
And Ronald, you own some property that you love to farm on. Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh, yeah, just north of Detroit, about an hour north of Detroit. I got 40 acres. I think I'm about to build a barn dominium, get some horses. It's time to ride off in the sunset. I had a great ride with the fire department, but now it's time to do something different.
How many years?
I got 30 years this February.
30 years. Man, and you had some pretty wild stories. We're going to get into some of those later on this episode or in future broadcasts.
He was 3 years old. 3 years old when he started.
Yeah, I was out stretching and loving it before Clay was even born.
I'm not hearing anything on this earpiece. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Cool. Hey, Z, you're doing like everything, basically. You are a producer for the Harlem Globetrotters, and you've been in that role for how long?
20 years this year. 20 years.
Holy moly. 20 years since we left being mascots together in the NBA? Yeah. That's crazy. And you're kind of like the utility mascot that everybody calls on if they break an ankle or sprain a knee and, oh, my God, we're in the playoffs. We can't just not have the mascot. Some teams bench him and just say, hey, he's hurt, but teams elect to go with somebody filling in the suit. You're the go-to guy. You can kind of emulate anybody's character. You're a physical specimen at 40, doing all this crazy butt-scooting shit and backflipping, and we're talking to the show. What are all the characters that you've portrayed beside all of them, the ones that you were full-time and part-time?
Yep. So I've done 2 NFL mascots, 3 NBA mascots, 4 NHL mascots, and 2 WNBA mascots. And aside from getting the call to be the chameleon to go in and fill in or whatever, I also do things like for F1 racing or the World Track and Field Championships, things overseas. whatever kind of cool project comes up, and just, we're well connected. That's how we got into this show, was through the mascot world. And someone gives me a call and I'm like the hired gun, I come in and cause ruckus,
Hey, don't think that the rest of us didn't notice how you dodged the question and didn't name any of the specific teams and just the leagues.
That's
We're
funny
not
you say that.
stupid, all right?
Well, I mean, that's okay. Well,
debatable. That's debatable.
No, that's actually on the show too. I did the same thing. They asked me directly, and I just chose to keep it, where I wasn't going to say it on the show.
Totally.
Keep it on the reps.
I
got one.
Yeah,
I got one question for you.
Yeah.
How'd you come up with the butt scoop? Where did that come from?
Yeah. So when you're mascotting, you're just coming up with what can you do to get attention. I used to do it in gymnastics, and it was one of those things. After you were stretching in gymnastics, we would butt scoot on the bounce floor. And
okay.
Have you taught your kids how to do that?
Oh yeah, totally. And where it really took off was I went to a Hawks game, and I did a thing where I acted like a fan and dunked, and I just did it, and then it went viral. And
we should really mention at this point how we're all connected. A lot of the people went on the show, and I got this question a lot last night. Hey, were there families or their connections? Some people were solos and by themselves, right? And, some people were connections. Like Zoli and I were both mascots. They didn't put us together in the circle, which was weird.
Yeah.
But you guys were put together as a team. There were families, up to 12 people. There were husbands and wives. There were brothers and sisters, dads and sons, dads and daughters, and then a whole bunch of solos that kind of add texture and layer to the show.
Yeah.
But you guys have worked together how long in the Firehouse? And tell us a little bit about the Firehouse, and then we'll get into the show.
We ran together only for a year and a half.
Yeah. I mean, Clayton's been on the job almost 9 years?
9 years this year.
So we've seen each other throughout his career on the job, but we actually worked together for about a year and a half. I got promoted to captain, and now he just transferred to work at my fire station. So we back working like directly together. So we'll be together probably another 2 years before I make chief.
We work outside the fire department together because, like, he'll be like, "Hey, I got some brews. I got a boat engine I'm taking apart," like the most random task. So this winter, we in his garage working on 2 boat engines. So we do so much work outside the fire department together. He owned a bar at one point, and I was like just helping him get inventory with the bar. That was like 7 years ago.
Yeah,
so you're like kind of more one of the young bucks coming up. And Ronald is kind of like a master. He's about to be chief. I heard the word chief. That makes me feel safe. I'll move to Detroit so that I feel like Ronald's in charge of the chief and taking care of fires. I mean, what's the chief do? He sits behind a desk and say, good job or bad job. He doesn't go out in the field, right? A chief doesn't put a hose in his hand.
Basically, you still go to the fire scenes and manage it. At that point, you're outside, you're giving your advice, you're talking over the radio, you're giving instructions, and you making sure nobody gets hurt and the fire scene runs smooth. Like for me, I see a lot of my.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, for me, I see a lot of myself in Clay when I was younger, and for me, a big part of the job was passing on what you've learned. Just like how you were in the mascot game a little bit longer than Zoltan. Hey, I saw your show. Man, what if you try this? You give them just little pointers of maybe some pitfalls you had, and hey, this really worked well for me. And then you guys, you just give him some little ideas to retain, to get his little part of the show.
Hey, Ronald, I see like a movie here where you're like a player coach and you're the chief, but all of a sudden you see something and there's no time to communicate to another person, and you take matters into your own hands and you rush into that building and you come out with that baby dog or that baby and you save it, and then you're like, just chief doing his job. And then in private, you chew these mother out for not doing their job and making your old ass having to step in to do it for them. What you think? We're going to sell this script.
He ain't telling y'all he been acting. He acted in the movie with me.
Yeah, I've done a little acting in my day, but you know what? That has happened to a degree, but you still got to, trust the process, trust your guys, and trust that you've passed on the right amount of information so they can keep the legacy going and continue. Because, hey, the fire department's a young man's game, and I'm not young anymore.
I got you. I get it. I got you. I saw it the first time. You know what? You guys, you're both done acting. Zoltan's done acting. If I were to rate what everybody looks like on a scale of 1 to 10 looks wise, I would say Clayton's number 1, Ronald's number 2, Zoldy's number 3, and my ugly ass is number 4. I'm usually a 7 on a scale of 1 to 10 when I'm slimmer. But my personality jacks it up to 11, much higher than you guys. Let's get into the show. Let's get into the show, and let's talk about something. First of all, we're all wearing our uniforms, right? They kind of did this like it was a real football game or something. I said coming out of there, I am burning this mother forever. I never want to wear it again, but here I am wearing it. We basically were told by the show's producers, you got to have 3 shirts, 3 pairs of pants, 3 shoes, 3 eyeglasses, the same. If something breaks, if something gets spilled on, because they want the continuity. So we had to wear the same thing every day for up to 3 weeks if we made it all the way. So that's why we're wearing this stupid shit. I mean, I don't know. Those guys got away easy. They're all wearing kind of the same thing.
The wardrobe was a nightmare. I will say this. The wardrobe lady was amazing.
Oh, she was great.
Such a nice woman. But this is a behind the scenes thing, and everybody had this problem. They went, I mean, like Robert said, you brought 3 outfits and you prepared and, got what you thought was your style and how you were comfortable, what you were comfortable in wearing. But then when you got there, they tried to switch it all up, and they're like, trying to add things or change the shirt. Funny story. They told me, they're like, let's add some accessories to you. And they brought out a red bandana. And I'm like, if you know anything about gangs in America, I put a red bandana on, I'm not going
to just say what you actually said. You said in my country, because we shot in England, you said in my country, a bandana means you're gay or you're in a band a gang, and I'm neither. And that was the end of it.
Yeah.
Hey, did they ask you guys to wear any goofy ass?
What?
That flannel shirt on me. I didn't want to wear a flannel shirt.
I think they were happy that we just kind of dressed them.
I wanted to wear a blue shirt, and then I got stuck in this freaking like Jackson Pollock mess up shirt that looks like Rainbow Bright or something. Hey, let's talk about a behind the scenes story that happened for real at my expense. There's no better place to start than a huge screw up of my own. You guys want to explain what Beardgate was? And no spoilers here, so we all know about it. Let's not talk about whether we were there or not and the order we got, whether we won it all or not. We can't talk about that, right? Anybody want to tell them what Beardgate was?
Well, I'll start it. I'll start it with, this process was daunting. And so you gotta think about Robert's mindset at the point in which he shaved his beard, which he shouldn't have for continuity reasons. So he got to a point in the show goes on, and he was so emotionally and physically drained for whatever reason. He thought, I just need to shave this beard and take a bath or whatever it was and get refreshed. And then he shows up and they're like, what did you do? You gotta.
Who was that?
Beard? So people freaked out. But the coolest part about it was Hair and Makeup actually designed a prosthetic beard and put it on him. And it looked exactly like it was. And he went on with the rest of the show.
2 Hollywood caliber makeup artists in for my up, and they put on, it was real human hair, and the hairs were all individually tied through a screen, and then when they put it on my face and they took a picture of my face the day before and dyed the different patches to make it look as close as possible. And it was 4:30 in the morning. I couldn't sleep. I got up and I was just like, shit, shower, shave. And as soon as I flushed the toilet, I got up, I shaved my beard off. It was all in the toilet. And as soon as I looked down, the shower's running, the steam going. And I'm like, I literally thought for a half second of grabbing that hair out of the toilet and seeing if I could paste it back onto my face. Shit happens.
Well, we'll take a little bit of credit from that. I think that was one night where we didn't stop partaking in the beers till about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. We all were a little
Hey,
bit anxious about the next day's
we
event.
definitely did that a few nights. That night I didn't. I went back at 10:30 and went straight to sleep, but didn't go to sleep. Stayed there with
Mhm.
insomnia, trying to fall asleep, racking myself. I hadn't drank it all that night and was just driving myself nuts.
For those that don't know, I mean, let me tell you, it's not going to show on the TV, but Robert was in the hurt box, bad neck, you name it. I mean, he
I got
was.
surgery on Thursday, the morning after the show premieres on Wednesday. I
Yep.
got spinal fusion surgery of 4 discs coming up. I hid it from the show producers because I didn't want to miss this opportunity. I was in immense pain. I appreciate that, Zoli. I kind of was hiding it for a while there, but I guess, it is what it is that I'm getting surgery now. And then I got hip surgery as soon as I repair this. 6 weeks later, I repair my left hip. 6 weeks after that, my right hip. And I got plantar fasciitis in my right. But whatever, cry me a river. We all got through it together. Tell me.
I'll say picture of health on 3.
1, 2, 3. Picture of health. Should I take off my shirt again to show how flabby it is? Let's talk about some of the games and how you guys felt what we saw last night. We all watched it, the first sneak premiere, whatever you want to call it, after the football game. How were you struck by it, Clayton?
I feel like one game that stood out to me was the water game when we did the transfer to water, and they didn't show 2 important parts. Like one, the part that happened with Julian, and the other guy where it kind of broke the machines. We had to kind of go back the next day, and also they didn't show how Ron went in beast mode and kind of like put the team on his back. Like he had like 5 buckets to 1 bucket. Like if you're looking at the 2 lines, I mean he ran out of water inside of his barrel. They had like, we need to refill the barrel. They didn't show that.
Oh, I didn't see that.
I remember watching
ran out of water
live, and I was like so impressed with Ronald. I mean, he was on point pumping that water.
Oh yeah, Ronald was. I mean, you can only show so much in an hour broadcast. It's an hour. It boils down to 44 minutes of airtime.
Show him like
Ronald was like boom, 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 and you were like, "Oh, that older dude is like crushing it right now." And Ronald, how did you feel in that moment when you guys were doing the water?
Well, honestly, when I looked over and saw what was his name? The other competitor looked like Marvin Gaye.
With the hat, the red hat, with
yes.
that beanie hat. He was a tall dude with the glasses and kind of a smooth criminal. Yeah, like Marvin Gaye. Okay.
Yep. When I looked over and I saw he didn't even take the skull cap off to compete, the first thing I thought was he not serious. So I said, hey, let me go as hard as I can. Do what I got to do to win. Because at the end of the line, we going for $1 million, man. This is not fake money. It's real.
What was your feel about some of the people on the show? Some of the people were there for airtime. Some of the people were there for $1 million. Some of the people were there just for a crazy fucking experience that they've never done in their life. Some people were there for a free vacation, right? Is there anything other groups I'm missing?
No, you hit the nail on the head. It was a lot of people there for different reasons, but I was there to have fun. My ultimate goal was to win, but I took my main takeaway was the friendships and the people I met that day was way worth more than $1 million. Absolutely. I mean, you guys, I'll talk to you for the rest of my life. We'll have fun. We can reminisce, but the games were the games, but us in the back room, the green room, laughing, joking, hanging out.
Old school music. Remember that? We went through all the songs just in one of our hotel rooms listening to music.
Robert, it's Donnell, not Clayton. Clayton, yeah, I call you Clayton all the time reflexively. I'm sorry, that's a good note. Hey, by the way, let me pause real quick. We want to thank Chris Bruce and King Creative and Bruce Productions so much. They are quarterbacking this podcast, producing it, getting it on all the platforms, recording it, everything for us out of Wilmington, Delaware. King Creative is, it's amazing. This place can do anything. They got rooms for bands. They got rooms for recording artists. I'm here this week for 8 days recording my book. Yeah, there you go, Zoli. I promoted my own book. So we want to thank Chris. That's who's just giving me the note. I always call you Clayton because Ronald calls you Clayton. And also Ron and Don and Donnell. I can't say Donnell. I apologize. I'll get it right. Zoli, off camera, how did you feel when you were trying to craft some of these bits and these little okay, tell me all the things you think you have in your arsenal.
Well, yeah, you're always thinking like, what can I do to stand out? Whether it's a flip or a butt scoot or whatever, what am I going to say? But I will say this. I mean, after watching that episode, I mean, my first impression of that episode was they edited that thing lightning fast, and I get it. I mean, the producers, they have to get in the fact that it's a game. They have to get across that what's happening in the game, and then they had certain things that they wanted to talk about, father son or best friends and things. So,
relationships.
But in my mindset though, at the time, I mean, Robert, you and I were talking about this. We're like, all right, what are you going to do today? What are you going to do today? All right, I'm going to do the worm. I'm going to, do a flip or whatever. You're thinking of lines, and it was like comedy writing 101. Like we're bouncing ideas off each other. So, okay, we know this might happen. So after that happens, I'm going to say this, and that's gold. We'd go back and forth with lines. Thinking,
yeah, we were like kind of spitballing and just trying to help each other. You were helping me, like, you should play this way. Absolutely, on every game we were trying to help each other, but we were trying to help each other be clowns because we were fucking clowns for 20 years or whatever, and we were trying to give the producers and the people at home options. But again, you got your butt scoot, you got handstand, popping, whatever you call that, jumping on upside down handstand. You got the worm. You got a standing back tuck. You got a punch front. What else am I missing?
I'll tell you, there's a bunch of stuff like that. But my favorite part about the whole thing was Robert and I, and this was more self-serving for us. This was my favorite part of the show. So when we were done with whatever, we would go into the back and try to get in the shots. And
in the safe zone. We had completed the challenge.
Yeah. So when you complete the challenge, you go to a safe zone. And so we're just, we're either rooting the contestants on or whatever. So we come up with this idea. I mean, we were like Laurel and Hardy in the back of the truck. And we're doing this for like our own.
You call it Beavis and Butthead. We're like Beavis and Butthead back here. Behind somebody's camera shot, like some news reporters catching a storm, and some dipshit walks in behind them like, bleh.
Yeah.
Like, go ahead. What do we do?
Yeah, like stuff like, all right, Robert, I'm going to stand right, because we knew where the camera angle was. They were recording like somebody. And I'm like, I'll stand right there, and you come up and polish my head with a towel, or whatever it was. There was one moment where he took a rubber band and snapped it on my head, and I did this like pratfall. And so like, I'm just hoping to see that in the background of shots, because only him and I know that we did it. Well, now everybody knows. So be on the lookout. Be on the lookout for those little things. They might show up. They might not.
Hey, game one, or that game with the water, didn't something break? Like some of these shoot days were 16 hours because we were in holding for 4 or 5 hours because some of those props broke and they had to change things in their direction in the moment. So that made like a 16-hour day. Let me hear your impressions of how hard this was. How hard was this whole experience? You're not going to get that from the viewers on TV. How hard was this experience shooting 6 days a week, 12 to 16-hour shoot days with jet lag in a foreign country? It's England, I know, not that foreign. Speaks our language, almost. Clayton, go, bro.
The funny part is we work 24-hour shifts, sometimes 36 hours if we work in overtime, 48 hours. And you're doing like difficulty breathing, going to somebody's house, doing CPR, doing a house fire, doing a fire accident. So we were just standing still, so we really wasn't tripping. We're like, oh, okay, cool. We drink beer.
That's kind of natural for you. You're like, all right, we're on 24 hours. You're used to extreme exhaustion.
Yeah, I'm used to being like used for 24 hours at a time. So it's not my time for real. If there's nothing to do and I'm sitting watching TV at the firehouse, but for 24 hours, I know in my mind mentally I'm a tool. So that's how that works.
Don, that said, usually a fireman gets a couple days off then to recuperate from that. This experience was 12 hours, 12 hours, 12 hours, 12 hours, 12 hours, 12 hours, 1 day off. 6 of them in a row. Ronald, how did you feel about it?
I mean, honestly, since we're in the older part of the group, I thought it was a little unfair advantage to make some 50-year-olds stand for 8-9 hours a day on concrete. I said, "This is crazy. We need to sit down."
Yeah, so, I don't know what it would be like to be 50. I'm in my 30s. I mean, I trust you. You're 54. I know. I remember. But some of the parts that were the hardest of the experience were standing and waiting. We all understood it. They had to get multiple angles and shots and everything, but it was grueling, especially on our backs, necks, everything, and just feet. Man, your feet, your dogs. Zoli, you and Don, man, you're all trying to get me to call him something else. I call him Clayton. F that. It's Clayton. His last name. Call me Boudwin. Call me whatever you want. Zoli, how was it for you? You kind of impressed me as on this podcast as the most athletic and fit one. I know you just got your butt hurt, Clayton, but Zoli, you're doing the flips and everything. How was it on your feet as a perfectly in shape guy?
It was rough. I say it was daunting. I mean,
what did you tell me? What did we tell each other on the last day? This was the hardest experience of our lives.
Yeah. I mean, and we've performed all over the world, and you're getting in a mascot costume, losing 6 pounds, and performing and doing all this stuff. But it was all that waiting around. They'd shuffle you into this hallway, and you'd stand there for an hour before you went in, and it was just a lot of mentally and physically getting to you.
Yeah, Zoli, I'm going to put you on blast right now, and if you want me to move on, just say shut the f*** up. What happened on that last day? And we don't have to say when either one of us left. What happened that's never happened between us?
Shut the no wait. I'm you got me lost here.
I mean, I don't know who was leaving, but somebody was going to the airport, and we had a private moment together. Do you want to talk about it?
You mean outside of the bar there, just kind of that
outside of the breakfast area and the bar that at night,
Yeah, I mean, it was just a good 2 buddies that were like, wow, this was quite an experience, and we had our little moment.
I mean,
are you gonna get mad at me after the podcast if I tell the truth?
I'm trying to recall what. Go ahead, you tell it how you remember. Maybe I had too many.
We both got overwhelmed by the emotions of the experience and cried into each other's shoulders as we embraced and hugged. And you think it's kind of gay and unmasculine, and you're not remembering it because you blocked it out because you have daddy issues. All right, you remember that?
Yeah, sure.
Well, yeah, you're mad now. I didn't get you to sign a release either.
Well,
it was. I mean, it was emotional. I mean, people. If you watch this show, you're going to be like, all they're doing is simple games, and people are having absolute meltdowns, man. I mean,
hey, tell us one of the other games from last night that we all saw and something about it that you thought while watching it. We had the water game. What about the balloon game? The balloons all fall, and it's a spectacular view of 1,000 balloons. They didn't tell us there was confetti inside. They told us that there's 99 lays, and then they fall, and the confetti's there, and it looks just like the lays, and you're like, oh, this isn't just pick it up.
Yeah.
Anybody got any thoughts on that or the ice block challenge?
Well, I thought the lays challenge was my thought process going into it. I was looking, I said, man, this is 100 people. Everybody's going to be so focused on popping the balloons. I didn't even care about the balloons. I popped one balloon and I immediately started looking for lays because I said people are so focused on busting the balloons, they're not looking for what's coming out of the balloon. So that was my take on it. I immediately started looking for lays.
You didn't keep popping balloons. That's smart. I didn't do that. I kept popping balloons. You were like, these dipshits aren't looking at the fucking trash on the ground, the stuff, and it's there. So
Work smarter. Work smarter, not harder. Let them do it all. And then just,
Yeah. How about you, Zoli? What did you do for that game?
I went popping like crazy. I busted my knee up. I did a dive roll into the middle. I was going crazy. But the one thing about that challenge that stood out to me was this, and people won't see this at home. It was, at the end there was no more balloons. They were all popped. And so there was all this confetti and what looked to be lays. And so they're searching through this confetti. And then what happened was one last balloon fell down from the sky. And that's when that tackle happened with Geraldine.
Huh. Was that balloon just accidentally stuck in a net, or was it strategically dropped at the last second
Right.
to make the intensity bigger?
That's what it
100%, right?
Oh yeah.
How was the ice block for you, Donnell, Don, Clayton?
I had a whole plan going into that. I'm gonna take my work boot, go everywhere with my boot, my Bates work boots. So I'll take this, and I don't want to drop it, so I'm gonna put it inside my sock and then make a little igloo in the boot and blow into it. It was going good for a second. But I said, this is not enough heat. So I heard people getting done. I said, let me take this out and restart. I just pivoted and I just kind of put it under my arms. Wasn't working as much. So I said, you know what? I had cargo pants on. I just kept doing like this, and it was chipping at the button or something. And then next thing I know, we kind of carved it out and broke. So there we go.
Richie and I did the same thing. At least, we both stuck it down the front of our pants and rubbed it there because we thought our groins were hotter. I worked up a big boner and basically fucked it. They didn't show me doing that because I'm a fucking ugly, old, white, middle-aged, flabby guy. They showed Richie in a lot of the commercials doing that exact thing, that he had down his pants, rubbing it on his penis. Zoli, tell him about how we messed up our stomachs because we didn't feel the metal.
We got a great picture because when you get to a certain point, like my method was just aggressively rubbing it on my stomach, and same with Robert. And later that night, we're having a beer, and oh my gosh, we have this picture of, maybe we'll put the picture on, the podcast here.
It was red streaks.
Red streaks.
We got blood. We cut ourselves.
Yeah, because the whistle would poke out a little bit, and there was a little metal piece, and you didn't realize it because your adrenaline's going.
And you were numb. Your skin was numb from rubbing ice up and down your body, and it numbed your skin so you couldn't feel the whistle cutting you as you got to the goal. And the adrenaline kicked in, so you didn't realize you were bleeding and cutting until after the game was over, and you were like, oh, what happened? Did I get hypothermia? Is that gangrene? No, dummy. You cut yourself with the whistle there because you were too aggressively rubbing and not looking at the whistle.
I noticed on the show too, they showed it was Mustache Magic. He was rubbing that on his head and he had a big red blood.
Well, you mean to tell you what I noticed with the ice block? I did the same thing you guys did, and then right when I did it, I said, you know what? Let me flip it and melt the other side. So once I started melting the other side, I was able to just break it because now, if you remember, the ice block was 2 or 3 inches thick. So once you got to the whistle, I was like, it don't make
the first dude, they said you can't break it on the ground, but they didn't say you couldn't break it on your body. So some of these games, you got to listen to the rules specifically. And some dude got out really quick, and I was like, what the f-? And he got it a little bit, and then he broke it over his forehead. Yeah. And we didn't know this until afterwards. Another dude did that.
They said no brute force. And that's all. Oh, okay, so you can't just have at it. They were saying you couldn't, brutally do anything like,
Yeah, in the show's defense, right, and in the show's defense, it's hard to monitor that stuff. Like, what's brute force? I'm doing this, and then at one point I go, bang! And nobody sees it. And you don't even hear it as the contestant. You're not trying to break the rules. Everybody has. I felt. Let's get to that before we talk about the other game last night. I felt they were extremely fair at Fox and the production people. They had these are weird games. They did their best to make things fair in the moment.
I don't know. I think with this ice block challenge, I will say this: that's not fair. I was looking at some ice blocks around me, and you could tell that whistle some of them were in the middle, some of them were up a little
How are you
higher.
going to make a fucking whistle melt in the middle of an ice block uniform for 100
Perfectly.
blocks?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I
Yeah,
noticed
and
some of
it's
the
random chance, just like life. What did we learn on this show?
yeah,
You kind of get what you get, and you got to
that's
make the
what it is,
best of it. And with all best intentions, you're not going to be able to have it completely perfectly fair. Yeah,
right?
somebody got a whistle probably closer to the end, and it was easier to melt. I don't think it was intentional. I don't think for one fucking second
No.
I would bet my house, my kids, everything on it that whistle was placed. Oh, let's give this person this. That didn't
Yeah.
happen. I don't
No.
feel like that happened at any moment. I don't feel like anything was steered. I don't think anything was fake or false or we want to see this person win. None of that shit. I think they were putting their best honest foot forward to make this fair. What do you guys think?
I think with the way they gave the rules, they just told you a suggestion, but they never said what you could or couldn't do. Like they said, you can't break it on the floor, but they never said you couldn't break it over your knee or your elbow. So a lot of games, like, it was just kind of up to your interpretation to figure out the best way for you to do it without going outside the rules.
They said they couldn't touch the floor anyway. So if you touch the floor, that's 3-minute penalty.
None. You couldn't break it on the floor. I feel like some of these games, because it was an English production company, it was shot 16 and a half miles northwest of England. I think a lot of these people must have been looking at this like, Jesus Christ, how did we lose that war 250 years ago? These Americans are fucking idiots. We give them rules, and all they want to do is figure out the gray area and how to break them. And that one, I was about to say the B word, that one not so nice lady was not understanding that. Oh, you all want to go to figure out, hey, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. And you know what? Make the rules clearer then.
Yeah.
Right? But I do think, like, some of those things we screwed up as Americans. It was like, and some of those games, they were like, we need new props. We got to go scramble to get new stuff. The lunch boxes, duct tape, whatever.
Well,
Go
they would
ahead.
also explain what a certain item was. Like, so for the viewers, before you went into the arena, they would explain the rules about what was about to happen. And that's the only time that we would get this information. So everybody's guessing, what's going to happen. But when they would explain it, they would use their words, which didn't mean like, so I'm trying to think. Do you guys remember
gutter? They were like, does gutter mean, what is this? They held up a gutter, a rain gutter on a house. Yeah. They're like, what do y'all call this? We said gutter. And they were like, oh, thank God, it's the same thing. They kept saying cotton. Remember cotton? For thread. For thread. No spoilers here, boys. No spoilers. Just a reminder. But there you go, Zoli. Can you think of another one, Ronald or Don?
Well, you know what? It was so many. It was just I'm not going to say a language barrier, but it's just certain things in the U.S. meant a different word than what they said over there.
It didn't create a problem with the game. It was a funny thing we all laughed about in the back when they were like, oh, take the cotton and put it through the needle head. And we were like, what the is cotton? A cotton ball? Like I'm going to put alcohol on my face to clear up a zit or take off makeup? And then they're like, oh, thread. Yeah, there was a little of that, but we all laughed.
They would give us, this game is really based on how you were living your life before. You can't study for it. So whatever you did, you acquired throughout however many years you've been living, you're equipped or you're not equipped. But if you tell me the rules and give me an hour or hour and a half, now I'm talking to other people and I'm getting strategies. It should be truly, we're on a circle, 3 minutes go. It shouldn't be time. You got time to just kind of consult with people. How do you do that? Because people don't know how to do it.
What were these games about in your mind? Was it about strategy? Was it about physical strength? Was it about intelligence? Was it about pivoting and watching what others are doing?
It's really about what skills have you acquired naturally before you came, and then how willing are you to go to somebody else and ask for help? Because they gave you an hour now, so you get somebody an hour. But I think that part should have been cut out if you're truly trying to like gauge what somebody knows naturally. Because a lot of the games weren't really like you got to be the strongest, you got to be the smartest. It was like, how are you gonna do it?
I kept it quiet because for that very reason, but there was some people that I confided in, like Ronald. Ronald was a very smart player. So like if I was like questionable on something, I'd say, hey, how are you going to do this? And we'd talk it out because we're boys. But like there was a lot of people talking and I was like, I ain't getting nothing out of me.
There was a lot of ear hustling going on.
Yeah.
Some people master classes on how to do stuff. It's like people ask, like, how do you do this? Never did this before. All right, so step one, you do this. And then this is, if we just went right away, they would not have been able to pass it.
Sometimes it was a pivot, though, right? You went out to do the game and you had your game plan in mind, and it wasn't working, and you looked around, right? And you stole somebody else's game plan.
Yeah. But that's different. That's in the heat of the battle. What they're talking about is before
you got to teach somebody how to do stuff. I've never done this. I've done blank before. I have somebody that's 2 years old and he step by step how to do it. Now I'm like, oh, that's all. Okay, cool. But generally, like to the end.
One of my favorite quotes is by General Patton. He said, "No battle plan survives its execution." I never found those words more true than on this show. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah.
Right?
It was a crazy.
I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to run out there. Oh, shit, this isn't working. And the pressure, 50 cameras in the room. I'm on national TV. Anything I can do right now can be, done. We signed our life away. It was intense. And watching people suffer. What do you think about the group of people out there? There were 100 people. How many did you like? How many did you dislike? I disliked 4. I liked 96.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Necessarily dislike anybody really, because I didn't have any super personal vendettas to where I'm like, I can't believe you did this to me. I didn't dislike anybody. I was quiet most of the time, so I talk when people talking. But I kind of saw people, and I can see like people's user horns coming out. Where I watch people like bounce from group to group and like, let me see what I can. And we compete for a million, so I get it. I just kind of watch people's agendas and stuff unfold.
You were kind of a smooth criminal, I call it, a wallflower, kind of taking it all in, absorbing it, understanding it all. I mean, Ronald, what do you think? 100 people.
You know what? I didn't have an issue with anybody in particular. I did notice certain people who were kind of taking other people's ideas.
I didn't have an issue with anybody personally either. But I saw shit that I didn't like. I saw stuff that some people did to others, and I said, "You're a fucking bad human being, and I don't like you because I saw you do this to that person." There's 4 people in mind. There's 1 really in mind. And Zoli, when I talked to you about crying into my shoulder like a little bitch the day that we left, this is maybe your opportunity to kind of stick it to me and say, "Which one? Catch up, bro."
Yeah. Okay. Which one, Robert?
I think we all got the same person in mind.
Well,
yes or no?
Look, I didn't really have a problem with anybody. I didn't
have a problem with anybody personally either. But King David had a personality to project as a jerk. However, I got it. He was doing that intentionally. The person that was a jerk off camera and on camera that I saw do despicable things, get picked for a team and be pissed that the person picked them because she didn't want to be on that captain's team because she thought it was a weak team. Yeah. I saw it. You all know Tara Marie. Come on, we ain't holding anything back. She's a bad person, and she needs to check herself and be nicer to people, period. Stop thinking like, oh, I won the challenge 2 times in a row. She was a fucking, and we shot this in England, The only reason you're fucking laughing in your own home studios or fucking places of domicile is because you agree. You don't laugh if you don't agree.
I didn't have much interaction with her one-on-one, and some things I may not have seen.
Me neither.
Really, because I was on the opposite side of the circle than you. So I even paid attention to different people because I was around different people in the circles. You kind of proximity, I was paying attention to who was going that I'm like with every day. So I didn't really see much of that at all. I can't even speak on it for real. I didn't see it.
I was watching. You were watching. Yeah. You just don't want to be a guy that comments on others and get nasty.
I didn't see it for real.
I'm more like, that was a mean thing to do, and it broke my heart for the person I saw her do it to. And somebody told me, she says on her website, I go on reality shows and do things that I regret. Yeah, you should. So stop doing them. When you go into them, Yeah, we all want to win. Ronald, you had the best line ever. I stole it and used it in some of the interviews. Say it. One night we're at the bar. You're like, when people get upset, they get knocked out. You said,
Hold on, what did I say? I was
"Hey,
drinking that night.
man, I'm going to try to do my best Ronald impersonation right now. All laid back and shit with the blood pressure of like 60. Hey, man, I mean, if you play the lottery, you don't get mad when you don't win the lottery. I don't understand." It was the funniest fucking
I
line
remember
I
saying
heard.
that. I was like, yeah, like how can like right now we all came to this show. I mean, we were 100 deep. I mean, I'm just happy to be here. It's like how can you be mad if you win if you buy a ticket for a lottery and you don't win it? I mean, we here for the experience.
No, I was telling the producers asking me questions sometimes, and I kept saying when I first got there, I said I won because I'm here. We 100 winners already because we got this trip to London. We having a good time. This once in a lifetime experience. Anything else from here is just a bonus. So if you went home and had like a tantrum like a kid because you didn't win the lottery, like Ron said, I mean that's kind of on you. Like what? I think you want to play the for this for real. Like,
well, hold on, guys. The beer's kicking in. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, go get you some. And by the way, folks, we just had our first beer, so don't think that like this is. I think all of us are a little bit emotional, worked up, and reliving the experience and thinking about it. So, hey, now that those guys are going to pee because apparently their bladders are this small after a half a beer, I don't know.
No, I had to get another beer. What are you talking about?
Zoli, what was another game last night that you had thoughts on? We talked about Water Challenge. Yeah, that was the one I ripped my shirt off because I kind of, along with Danny Boatwright from Survivor, quarterbacked my team's decisions. She was, I was kind of I don't know, I'm just going to say it, the president when we were scheming. She's and then great. She was the general to execute on the field when we did it. And, that was cool. And we crushed it. That was the one team game I was on that we finished 5 minutes before anybody else. We talked about Water Challenge. Danny's great, by the way. We talked about the ice block. We talked about balloons. What else did they show last night?
Pasta challenge. Now, that was the easiest one for me. The pasta.
Oh, the pasta. Go ahead, go.
I'm on the edge of the table. I lined it up so I could see like a tunnel. And in one swoop, I just said, zoop, and I was done.
You did it in one slide?
I never thought it was a good idea to do it like this because I knew the longer
you were able to line them up so straight and then also be so still, threading the needle.
Yeah, I just kind of looked. I went to the edge of my table.
Hey, man, I think that's because you got a lot of experience threading a very thin thing into a hole.
Oh, you talking about
that was a small dick joke. That was a thin dick joke. He got length, but he don't got girth. How was that game for you other two?
I'll tell you, they what they didn't show was the drama that happened halfway through it. So there was a thing that would happen. They called it, I don't know if this is too much inside information, but if
all right, we'll call the Globetrotters.
If something went wrong, you would do this, or you would say pineapple, or whatever.
You had a medical problem.
And it was a medical problem, or something went wrong. And
hey,
so,
can I interrupt real quick? The show did a great job to make sure that we were okay medically, physically, mentally. They had a therapist on staff every day that you could talk to. There was a dog there to pet. They did a fantastic job of making sure that people were taken care of during these extreme circumstances. I'm sorry to interrupt, Zoli.
No, you're right. But the one thing I just remember, I was almost done. I had one more penne to do. And I had it going, and then all of a sudden we heard the stop, stop, stop. And so I'm sitting there with a noodle with balancing the penne, like sweating,
like I'm done.
Out, like because you're about to finish. And I was at the bottom of that heat, and I thought I was going to do good at that. I actually thought I was going to do great. Anyway, so they had us take the pasta out of our mouth and reset, and then the rule was to put the amount of pasta that you had, the penne, back onto the spaghetti noodle, and then restart when they said go. And I'll tell you, that little reset actually helped me, I think, but that was dramatic because you're like thinking, oh, am I going to have to restart?
Gave you
I
time
was
to think.
almost complete. Yeah, it was
I
wild.
was sweating for you in the safe zone back there. Like you were
Yeah.
struggling on that game.
Yeah.
You were
And
not
then,
in the safe zone. You were like in the last 10, right?
yeah, I was like right at the
Yeah.
bottom.
How about you
I mean,
guys? Like, how was it?
it was crazy. Games that you thought you would be good at, you kind of struggled. In games that you thought you would be bad at, you did well. So it was just a big toss up. It was some games were kind of a luck of the draw. Hopefully everything went your way. And then some games, well, when you spoke earlier about how did you feel in the middle of the game? For the most part, you're fine until you start hearing, oh, Robert's in the safe zone, Zoli's in the safe zone.
Yay!
You take
Hey, some of those safe zone cheers are helpful, and some of them are like, shut the fuck up.
The worst. When someone does that yell and you're in the middle of something,
Oh, the sun. Like you remember last night they showed Tommy from Broadway and the social media influencer guy yelling to his dad, "You can do this, Dad. You can do this." Like some of it helps at first to be supported, but then you're like, "Shut the fuck up." We saw, the one karate dude yell at his sister on another future game in one of the commercials. A little bit of encouragement, but not too much.
Hey, one of the moments I remember was so good was Robert and we had like a Top Gun Maverick and Goose moment, like at the very end. We're like, when we made it to the safe zone, it was like, yeah.
You know what everybody in America just thought? Everybody in America is listening to this podcast. They just thought Zoli's Tom Cruise and I am Anthony Edwards.
It's probably somewhat true.
Goose is the less sexy one. We get it, folks. Oh, we taking our shirts off?
Speaking of taking your shirts off, how did they not show you jumping into the barrel of water?
I don't know. I mean,
that's crazy.
They showed the shirt rip off. We're here with, hey, Chris, come on in camera and say hello real quick. No? Come on now. People want to see your dumb beard.
Yeah, get in there, Bruce.
I got a good beard.
What's up?
Chris,
this guy,
King Creative owner, Chris Bruce. We watched it together last night after doing an all-day event. What did you think about that moment? Like
when I saw you rip the shirt?
Yeah, I was like, no, I didn't. Yeah. They didn't show it. And you're like, I saw it.
I'm watching in real time. I'm like, oh, there it is. You said that it wasn't on. There, it was right there. He's like, what do you mean? I rewind it like 6 times so that he would actually see it. I'm like, dude, it's right there.
You know when I believed you? When a whole bunch of people started blowing me up in text, email, and social media with a screenshot of that. And I was like, oh, I guess you're right. You want to rewind it?
No, it was a wide shot. So, I mean, it was a little bit hard to see. But he clearly rips off his shirt. Celebration.
You need a big screen TV for all that.
Hey, talk about that real quick, guys. Did you do anything? I did that clearly. I'll be honest. Like, okay, Zoli's bopping around on his butt doing backflips. I'm a mascot. What do I got? That was never my thing. I wasn't a gymnast. As Clutch, the bear for the Houston Rockets, I was a funny guy. Pick your moments. I absolutely ripped that shirt off intentionally because maybe I'm giving them some good footage. I'm not thinking of that when I'm doing the game, but on celebration, I'm going to think I want to give them something as an option. They don't have to use it. Zoli, what was in your – I know it was in your head. We were Beavis and Butthead together. I was like, all right, let's get some rubber bands. I'm going to snap it. Remember it popped open something on your head. Blood was coming down, and the girl was like, oh, God, are you all right? And I was like, hey, dummy, did you not just see him do the cartoon? Wah, 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 wah. Do you think that's how somebody falls in real life? Christ. Did you guys do anything where you were in the moment – recognizing cameras that were there, wanting to make the fire department look good, post-game interviews? Go ahead. We're performers. That's our default. That's what we do.
One thing about you guys last night on the lay challenge, I actually dove across the floor because it got kind of steep for me. I kept busting so many balloons, and I kept seeing hands taking my legs. I said, oh. It got like, I looked around, everybody was over here. I dove at the last minute, and I just kind of like held it up and stuff, man. But That was one thing.
Yeah, you're like, yay, I'm out, because you like cameras. So anybody that says that they didn't do that to any degree is a fucking liar, and they're lying to themselves mostly. All right, we all do it. It's not yes or no binary. It's on a scale of 1 to 100. Did you do it 20% or 80%? Why were you there? But in moments, we all ham it up a little bit. Ronald, did you have any of those moments? You're a pretty chill dude. You both are. Zoli and I are high strung.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, for me, honestly, the first episode, we kind of struggled a little bit. We kind of, with the weight game, we kind of miscalculated a little bit of weights. So I kind of got into my mental head a little bit that first episode, because I'm like, hey, I didn't come all this way to get out. So I was more focused on trying to get through that day, get through the games, and try to make it to the next show. So I was.
Bruce and I were watching it together, and I told him nothing because I want this podcast not to spoil anything. The goal of the games is for people to enjoy. Now, at one point, Bruce is watching it with me, and just by happenstance, when we went to commercial, he's like, I bet you the next thing that they're going to bring out to weigh is a camel. And I was like, holy fuck. That's exactly what it is. And he thought I was lying, just being like a joker, like, yeah, you got it. And I was like, did I tell him about this? Did I slip? No, I've been really buttoned up. He guessed it. And I was just like, wow. Yeah, come here. Come on. Tell him what the fuck happened there. How did you guess that it was a camel?
There was just something about the way it was building. And then you said something simple. You didn't say a camel. You just said, oh, the next thing is really ridiculous. It's like over the top. And I said, oh, is it a camel? Sure enough.
Oh, yeah, those moments make me believe there might be a God. They truly do. Hey, here's a shirt of Saquon Barkley. Wear that next time you come into the shot. Saquon Barkley for mayor of Philadelphia. Please, when he retires, he's getting elected. Okay. Guys, that weight contest was tough for y'all. You almost got knocked out. I already liked you guys by that point. Met you, talked to you, spent time in each other's rooms, just shooting the shit. I was worried. What were you feeling?
We were actually thinking about it. Most people just followed whoever they thought was right. We actually had some practical, real life shit in our heads. We were like, all right, hold on, let's think this through. But you got 45 seconds. So it's like,
And it was
time crunch message with you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and the weights were so close. It was like, this is, 900 to 1100, 1101 to 11. And I'm like, and what is this? It was 1115.
Did you guys think about strategy of just going with the herd and like wherever the most people stood, the law of probability serves you? No, you were just trying to figure out how much that shit weighs.
Yeah. I mean, we feel like experience. We've done a lot other than fire department. So it's like
we got out pretty quick on the first one together, right? We stuck together on that one.
Yep.
Oh,
yeah. Is that because we're so much infinitely smarter than Ron and
I mean, that was a tough one too, because it was cat. If you remember,
that was a shot at you guys. Throw your beer at the camera or stuff. When we make fun of you, hold on, stop it. I don't mean stop it. I mean cut. Note to podcast interviewers: be real. Be like, F you, Robert.
This ain't shit compared. We hear from the firehouse, man.
Go ahead, T. You were saying something.
I was just talking about how I mean, it's tough to figure out what these cactuses weigh because they hold water, and you're like, I was gauging it off of how many guys were bringing it out and how heavy it looked when they were doing it and things like that.
Well, see, for me, with the cactus thing, I was like, did they just water it? Because I don't know if you ever deal with plants, but if you don't water it, it's light as hell. But if you water it, it's 30 pounds heavier. So you got all these thoughts going in your mind, like, well, is it watered? Is it this? Is it that? And it was just that was a more difficult game.
Same thing. And then you're thinking these things absorb water and they can go without water forever, seemingly forever. That was a tough one. Let me ask you this: we already talked about people that were kind of maybe not the nicest on and off camera. Who was your favorite person that's not on this call? Answer reflectively.
Mine was Carlene, my circle buddy, is what you call him.
Next to you in the circle. How about you, Ron?
I seem to hit it off pretty well with Carol Lee. I mean, we thought alike. We all our ideas were very similar about how to approach the games, and we just clicked as far as like bouncing ideas off each other.
Yeah. How about you, Don?
I say in a line, we had a good relationship with Danny actually. So like,
Danny was cool as well.
Yeah.
Danny a lot in line, joked a lot and stuff.
It's a tough question. My instinct is to say Carolee because we spent time together, the three of us, Ron, on days off, going into London and having fun and getting to know each other. The other person, Will, was right 2 down from me, Will and Gabe, and both of those guys in the orange that were basketball players in Europe. And Will was from Philadelphia, where I'm from. And when he found out, like a couple days in, that I was Clutch, he was like, "You're Clutch?" And I was like, "How do you know who Clutch is?" Because in my mind, it's a Houston thing. And that's it. He was like, "Come on, brah. Everybody know who Clutch is." And those guys and I were cutting up. I'm going to tell you a true story that will make me look like a horrible person. On the first game that Tammy got out when she was rubbing the ice block and everything. And at one point we're waiting to do the eliminations and it's grueling. We're all hurting. 50-year-olds, 30-year-olds, 20-year-olds, but especially a 70-something-year-old. And nobody brought her a chair. And we're all hurting. Gabe runs over. Gabe was right next to me in line with the orange jersey or orange shirt and vest. And he runs over. He puts a chair behind her that he grabbed. And he comes back, and everybody kind of gave him like, that was a good decision. You acted with empathy. It was awesome, right? We were all like, God, this is grueling. And I whispered to him like 2 little school guys, in the yard. And I said, and Jim and Tammy were right next to each other. They're all older and white in their 70s. And I said, now they like black people. Oh. And Jim, Will and Gabe fell out. They just started hyperventilating and laughing. It's all situational, man. You can't label somebody. We're making jokes. So then the rest of the time there, I'm just trying to make these guys laugh. And that got me through it because they were a great audience. And there's no joke out of bounds. We were all brothers and sisters trying to get through the same thing together. It was beautiful. It was one of the best experiences. No, it was the best experience of my life, set aside the birth of my 2 sets of twins.
But that showed the
loss.
What was incredible about the show. It was so much drama and so much. It was just weird to have to rely on somebody to that degree, because in your mind, we're doing this to get $1 million, like when they had the team events. And the average person, I don't ever think they would walk around and meet a complete stranger and have to put that much faith in somebody right now. Like me and Zoltan never met each other in life, but right now we got to come together, figure out how to win this game so we can move on.
And and at the end of shooting, you're walking back and you all just experience the same thing, and you look at each other and, you can put 1,000 words into just a look, and you feel the same thing, the connection, the empathy, the human shared experience. Some of the people were in the military, and I heard them saying, this is just like boot camp. It's just like boot camp. You come from, let's talk about this, the most diverse group of people I've ever been a part of. Age, race, sexual orientation, professions, areas of the country that they lived in. What else? I mean,
and we're all trauma bonded.
All types of walks of life. The first night I was there, the thought that kind of hit me when I was laying in the bed was, name one time in your life that you can walk in a room and meet the mascot from the Houston Rockets, a fireman, a guy that owns a tech company, a lady, that was the yellow Power Ranger.
The guy that has 34 world records.
Yes, you will never meet a more eclectic group of people, but everybody's there for the same reason. Everybody's, at some point.
For that money.
And that's the thing, though. That's the thing. Like, there was people you would think are very specialized, like the guy you just talked about, the world record guy, who was an amazing person, but he could have been out just as well as an older person, or I mean, it didn't matter. I mean, there was skill levels from just a wide array of skill levels.
Oh, my bad. The turquoise team. So in the water challenge with Phil S, we actually came together and was like, all right, look, let's look at our strengths and weaknesses. Let's be real with each other. We asked one guy, we said, hey, is it okay? Like, can you squat? He said, I'm old. I can get a couple. I said, okay, you went back of the line. Me and Phil said, we're going to like make sure we get the most water to everybody else. Quality pours. Like, they said, oh, we want you to be the leader. I said, okay, that's cool. But I don't have a God complex. I don't need to be a leader. If you want me to help orchestrate things, I'll do that. But when I put it in motion, it won't be like, I did this. I'm trying to win.
I like how Robert.
That might have been one of the best things said on this podcast. In the moment, I think the people that were most effective shuffled off their egos and said, I'm here to be a role player.
Yes.
And they figured out, based on the game, it isn't you're not a leader at all on any game, but not this one. And here's my role in this one. That was really spot on.
It was.
Yeah.
See,
You can still be a leader. You can still be a leader and not be the leader, if you know what I mean.
Right. You can lead from within with actions and lead by example. And also know, like, okay, we're all talking about this, and somebody on the team starts to emerge as the one within 5 minutes of talking about it after giving the challenge as the one that seems to know a little bit more about this. Or maybe they don't, but they just have the mojo in the moment. And you got to let the mojo in the moment go. This isn't going to be who's the CEO in 3 years or forever, like everybody fights over in corporate America. This is, we got to do this now. And we got to figure out how to do it now best as a team. And we have 5 minutes. Who are we listening to? What I said when the water bucket challenge was, Danny and I talked about it, and I was like, I don't want to tell them. You tell them. I'm going to tell them. Everybody shut the fuck up and listen to Danny. Nobody else speaks. When we're out there, you got a problem, don't tell me. Don't tell anybody else. Tell Danny. She'll figure it out. She's completely empowered in the moment. That's what you got to do, right?
She's on Survivor, so why not? And I look at somebody like Ron. I'm like, they lucky. He's taking incident command classes. We're in charge of all these firemen at the same time. I know what it is to operate on the rig with 4 other people, and we got one common goal. And so it's like, I make it detailed to a house. I never met this guy before, and now we got to trust each other, go in the fire and put it out. And I don't know you. We had no rapport.
Yeah, that's your life.
Yeah,
that's
so
on the line and others.
Because of that reason, they said, well, hold on. He actually fireman, so hold on. They asked a few questions and said, well, we want you to be in charge. And I'm like, that's fine, but no one's in charge here. I'll put it in order, but it's not like this is my show.
You know what just occurred to me? You know what just occurred to me based on what we're all saying and what you're saying right now? This was supposed to be a podcast that is 10 episodes deep after every single episode that airs. This might be the only podcast. I mean, this is some good shit. It's about the stuff that happened. It's about who you guys were, how you approached it. We're going to do all 10. We're going to start to wrap things up. I see my producer going like this in the side. I hate having a producer, by the way. He's one of my 3 best friends in life, but I want to fucking choke him right now because he keeps giving me sick.
I want to choke you too.
Oh, he wants to hear. He's not telling me to wrap it up. He's telling me, talk to us about the people that got knocked out. I think it was Janice, long, straight, blonde hair. I've exchanged many messages with her from New York.
Nice. We had lunch.
Yes.
You guys go.
She was the first to go. I think Janice was the first.
We had
but what really, we lost a lot in the water challenge. 10 people got out right there. I think it was Morgan.
Talk to me about
Morgan got out.
Before we get to that, talk to me about the people that got. Did you get to know Janice? No, it was tough. She was the first one out.
That was nice.
No.
Yeah, remember we had dinner with her. She told us she doing commercials back home.
Yeah, that's right. We did have dinner with her. We had dinner with her.
How about the Haiti girl, the girl from Haiti, the Haitian girl?
She came and talked to us for a minute.
You guys knocked her out. It's your fault. That was the camel thing.
Yeah, that was I'm telling you, 90%
it's hard to watch him leave. When you watch him leave and get knocked out, I don't know, I call it an overdeveloped sense of empathy. In the moment, I found myself crying. And I'm like, why the am I crying? I don't know that person. Why am I crying? And I'm just like, the intensity in watching them and they're leaving. I don't know if that's going to come through to the degree that we felt it to the viewers.
They can't put that in 30 minutes.
I mean, like I say, because it's going to be very hard for anybody to understand that, because nobody will ever be in that situation. Like, in one breath, you feel good that it wasn't you because you still got a chance to win, but you sat back. They weren't sitting on a concrete floor for 4.5, 5 hours, and you telling me about your kids and what do you do for a living. And so in a short amount of time, you actually, because if you think about a normal relationship, let's say I met you today, we might talk over the phone once a week for 6 months, then we hang out more. But literally 100 people in a hotel compressed together for 3 weeks
with no phones,
17 hours a day.
Your phones are locked up all day.
Going
So
through
you got no contact with the outside world.
No distraction.
You're in a bubble.
And you go through stressful situations. Like, I mean, some people are completely stressed out, and for 15 minutes you were their therapist. Like, you didn't even know them yesterday, but now I'm sitting here trying to get you together.
Called it a trauma bond.
Yeah, we got another
called it a trauma bond. I talked to the therapist. Everybody that's watching this is like, good. We're glad you talked to the therapist. But I was like, man, this is like trauma bonding, or like this is trauma. And he was like, I would challenge you. And I was like, okay, therapist, you're here on the clock from the company. Okay, it's not trauma. It's something different. It felt like trauma. Yes? No? Zoli, what do you think?
Yeah, it did. It did. And if you ask anybody, they'll say the same thing. In fact, we joke about it in the our text.
In the WhatsApp.
We're all
I had to fucking learn WhatsApp, man. I hate tech. I wish we could all be cavemans and go back to when we just scribbled on walls and grunted at each other. But I put WhatsApp on my phone as a 51-year-old, or almost 51 for the first time, and now we all talk to each other. I can't keep up. You guys on that thread? Do you look at it?
Yeah, it's hard. I stopped.
It's like that. And what I think another weird aspect of the game was, me and you could be best friends right now on the same team, and then the next event we're on opposite teams trying to put each other out, and then the next game we're back on teams. So it's a weird dynamic. Like 1 minute we've trying to put each other out, and the next minute I got to depend on you. I mean, it was a very strange reality on that show. It was. Because it was so many highs and lows, and you look back and it was just a weird experience.
Hey, Zoli, elbow your way to the table there. How was the whole experience? Like Ron's talking about there. When you watched somebody get knocked out, what did you think? Good riddance? I know you. I know your head. You were like, get out of here. One more chance for me to get the money. Nah, come on. What was it like in your head?
Listen, I'm with you. Like, when you get kind of close to these people quickly, so you're kind of sad, but the back of your head, you're like, all right, that number's dwindling down, and so that felt good too. I mean, I'm not.
One of the thoughts that I had at the beginning when it was 100 people, and I think we all had. I know we all had because we talked off line. You're like, oh man, I hope the old people don't get knocked out first.
Oh yeah.
And then some of the old people started getting knocked out first. And we were all like, God, this is a bad look.
Yeah. We were talking about it.
Well, I know for me, I had a couple of thoughts in the game events. You don't want to see anybody leave, but you were a little excited that you could look across and see who potentially would be some very stiff competition. Yeah. And when they got out on something, you were like, well, I'm glad I don't got to deal with him anymore.
Yeah, without spoilers. It was a good segue. Ron, without spoilers, when you got there, who did you pick to win in your head other than yourself? Obviously, we all wanted to win ourselves, and a couple people if you want. Who were you like, these are the threats?
I thought Phil S was going to be a major threat. I thought Danny would be a threat. I thought David, the world champion with all of the records,
world record holder, David Rush.
And then it was a couple sleepers. I thought, what was his name? Calvin. Was it Calvin? There was a few people that that just were always steady. They never were at the bottom. They never were at the top. But every time you looked up, they were in the safe zone.
Yeah.
How about you guys? Who did you think? Zoli, who were you like? Who's going to beat me?
Miko. I thought Miko was a very smart player. You know, just like Ronald said, he was always consistent. It was well thought out. Miko, David, Rush, of course.
Oh, Miko. Miko's the kid that said the line, "Girls have penises, girls have vaginas." I didn't find it out to the last day that I was there. I was eating breakfast with him, and it came up somehow, and I was like, I'm older than dirt. This kid was a little kid with a bowl haircut saying this to Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, he was in Pet Sematary. He was.
Who was the threat to you in your mind, Clayton?
I would say I watched a lot of Survivor because, like, almost 7 years ago, I almost got on that season of Survivor. So I studied it like crazy. So when I saw Sandra there, and then I saw Danny, I'm like, oh man, I knew them already. So I said, I know Sandra's game for sure. So you got to be careful. And Danny's game wasn't like crazy to where you got to watch out for her. But I always worry about the people who like play the middle ground. Because the people that work, if you can just hold on long enough to get to that top 20 or something like that, you kind of just ask the right people advice and get behind this person and you get lumped up in your own team with this person. I'm looking at those silent middle ground sleepers like that. Like people who know how to strategize, who played games like this before. So it was a few people.
What did you guys' overall impression of the first episode? What was it? How did you feel? What did you think?
It was edited fast. I feel like they didn't show everything, but they definitely got across what the game was about. And I think that was important. So hopefully, I really wanted to see more like personalities, you know, because like we said, this cast was amazing. So I wanted to get more insight of the different characters that were on the show. Maybe that'll come out later. But it was a lot was missed, but it was great. I loved it. It was amazing.
What about you guys?
I kind of agree. I think the first episode was just to draw everybody's attention, and then they're going to build on the storyline of the cast. I think they want to shock everybody, get everybody's attention, so you'll keep tuning in. But overall, I thought it was a great show. I think it was, the games were good. I thought everything was, well edited. I liked it. I thought it was a good show.
Well, personally, I had a living room full of people watching it. They were on the edge of their seats every commercial. My mom, my sister, brother, dad, fiance, her whole family was over and stuff. So it did what it was supposed to do because they were like waiting and like that. So us, we were in it. So TV won't be able to capture everything we actually experience. It's going to be hard to put that into a full helping, but
yeah, when you're watching it with family members and not alone, you get a lot of looking for you and not just following the storyline. So that's a distraction. You guys are flying out to New York. They're doing a big, huge premiere party to watch it on Wednesday night together. Zoli and I will not be there because we actually have lives. But we hope you enjoy it. What are you looking for next episode? What is happening? What do you look forward to? I don't even remember what next game was. I jotted some of them down in my phone. What's coming up?
We can't talk about what's coming up.
Yeah, we can't talk about the games too much. What do you think about the rest of the 9 episodes based on this first one? I think it's, a little bit, you start to allude to it, Ron, that it's going to get a little bit more into the personal stories and getting to meet the people. You can't meet 100 people in depth. You can start to meet 50 people and 30 people and 20 people. Sorry.
You don't meet people who are about to leave. So maybe they want to build the story a little more and then slow it down once it dense more. But if you keep like introducing all these people and they gone now, that was like a waste of time.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys feel good about it? When you went to bed last night, when you woke up this morning, did you feel like, okay, they didn't fuck me?
I think for the first show, they did what they wanted, what it was about. In the later episodes, whoever made it to however far, I think, like you said earlier, once it condenses down, now I can focus on different different aspects of the show, and I can focus on personalities now, and and actually have interviews and bring more character to the show. I think yesterday was more about the wow factor.
I can't even imagine the hours of footage that they have from, I estimate, 50 cameras. The GoPros seem like 30 alone. I can't imagine the process. I was told there's 100 people on the staff, and the process of boiling it down. I thought they did a great job. I think we're all looking for ourselves, obviously. But, that's not what it's about, and there's future episodes. And I think that they did the best they could. More excited to watch the rest of the season than I was the first episode. Let's wrap it up. And we're going to do it in the most gratuitously unnecessary way possible. And we're going to take my shirt off. We're going to take a drink and make sure that we don't get any of it on Chris Bruce's and King Creative's entertainment equipment or whatever. And no, I'm not drunk, folks. Yes. But I will go the distance for a gratuitous joke. Hey, tune in every Wednesday night for the next episode. Zoli, thank you for joining us. Clayton. I just want to say Clayton. Clayton, thank you. I know you guys are busy. You're saving lives. I hope you're not missing your shift at the fire station. I love you guys. And the biggest thing is there's a reason that we're all here. It's kind of like falling in love with a group of people, have this shared experience the rest of our lives. We walked out of here. I remember what you said to me, Ron. You said, I'm never going to forget you for the rest of my life. And I said, like a jackass, you're right. You have my fucking business card. Call me. I love you guys. Anything you want to leave the audience with?
Buy Robert's book.
I said,
I act like this only in writing.
You can follow me at Donnell J. Clayton. That's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, anything you can think of.
Yeah. Zoli?
At Mascot Zoli, all social media. MASCOTZOLI. Mascot Zoli.
And Ken has been reposting some of your stuff, Ken Jong. Yeah. And you got, 3.2 million followers on Facebook with the butt scoot move in the most diverse manner and ways, and so entertaining. Ron, I don't think you knew what social media was until a week ago, but prove me I'm wrong.
Yeah, you about right. So, hey, you could just follow me right here on this podcast.
See you next time.